and welcome to another episode of WTFW. It's the only weather show that has crazy radical left ideas like, hey, maybe we should stop destroying the atmosphere. I have my good friend Alex here with me. I didn't ask how you wanted to be greeted. You go by many names. You go by Alex personally, but why don't you introduce yourself? Why did I even ask you on the show anyway? Who the hell are you?
Sure. I'm Alex. I think that's a universal enough way I refer to myself. And I saw a post late at night. We've been mutuals for a long time, of course, and label mates, I guess.
That's true.
But
Scholar, check out scholar.bandcamp.com.
Oh yeah. Haven't done much lately, but hoping to do some more soon.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, I just I have a little bit of knowledge on climate science, I guess, because I am studying ecology in grad school. So that's my claim to anything.
Fame. It's fame. No, it's fame now because you're on the most famous weather show of all time. There should be like a TV channel that's only about weather shows. It's a crazy idea I had. But anyway, so I put out the call because I needed someone who knew shit about the climate in a science way. So a climate scientist. And you were studying, you said ecology restoration, right?
Yeah.
And that seemed good enough. That sounded sciencey enough. So, and I had you read, I had you do homework essentially. This is a special, you know what? I'm going to make myself do some extra work. This is the theme song to the special IPCC report. That's a great song, whatever I came up with. So the UN, the United Nations, came out with a climate report, as they do. It seems like, how often do they do these reports? What does IPCC even stand for anyway?
It is the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. I do know that.
Look at you, yeah. And they do these quite a bit. So a lot of, it's exactly what it says on the tin. A bunch of governments get together and put together reports on how the climate's doing, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is the sixth one.
Yeah. I think we had one last August or something. I feel like we have, and there's supplemental reports they do. I feel like every couple weeks there's some group of scientists that are like, hey, that climate change stuff that we've been talking about for a while, it's definitely still a problem. And here's why, here are the ways in which it's a problem. And we go, damn, that sucks. And then it's out of the news cycle the next day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I was I get 90 to 150 views per episode. Let's get the WTFW. Let's use that to good use. So I had you read the IPCC report. Can you give me an overview on what these hundreds of climate scientists found?
Sure. It's not good as usual.
Okay. Well, so that everyone taking notes, just that's the first one. Not great.
It could be better, for sure. I would say in general, there's nothing here that's shocking if you've seen earlier stuff or just are kind of aware. They pretty much have to repeat the same things over and over again. Right. But, it's definitely highly likely that I think something like hundreds of thousands of people are going to be affected. Highly likely that a bunch of ecosystems like forests and mountain ecosystems and stuff are going to be negatively impacted. Mm-hmm. And, they've got their little projections, the little graph that...
They got their fancy little numbers and their little charts. Yeah. So, I did take a look at... You did say... I'll put you on blast here. You did say you skimmed it. Yes, but to be fair, this is thousands of pages long, right?
Yes.
It's kind of a chunky document here. I was not prepared for that as well. So I was like, how do I find like how do I prepare for this episode? And I found something that I think helped. Was I found the summary for policymakers they put together on their website, which is like they took like 3,600 and whatever pages and like, let's try and sum this up for the dumbest people on the planet, policymakers. And so that was like a breezy 37-page PDF. I will also, I can corroborate what my esteemed, I could call you doctor, right? Dr. Alex.
Not yet. Eventually, maybe.
I thought that's how grad school works. I don't know.
It can be. For the purposes of right now, I'll take it.
Okay. Well, you're Dr. Alex. I'm Oprah, and you're Dr. Oz. Like, you don't have to have any qualifications to be smart. You're on a TV show on YouTube, and you're the doctor on it. So, Dr. Alex, you're correct. So, for example, some of the highlighted little, they had a paragraph at the beginning of each part for the policymakers to sum up like what they were about to read before they got too scared by all the words. So for the first little bracket, human-induced climate change, including more frequent and intense extreme events, has caused widespread adverse impacts and related losses and damages to nature and people beyond natural climate variability. So like that basically is, yes, we can confirm that climate change caused by humans is causing a lot of extreme events. It's very basic stuff. I wanted to do like a big special, like, oh, what did they find? Like, what's the big, the IPCC report, what's their shock? No, it's kind of the same. Vulnerability of ecosystems and people to climate change differ substantially among and within regions, driven by patterns of intersecting socioeconomic development, unsustainable ocean and land use, inequity, marginalization, historical and ongoing patterns of inequity such as colonialism and governance. Again, that's also obvious. Unless you're not paying attention or you're actively lying, those are things that are true, right?
Yeah.
I also, I've been following, I followed someone on Twitter who was putting this together, and they had like a team of people focusing on like how this will affect, future pandemic stuff. Maybe future other pandemics or the current pandemic we're still experiencing.
Yeah.
Turns out disease and climate change, those are unfortunately linked. But I guess I'll focus on what you're actually studying. So you're studying ecology restoration. Could you tell us like what those words mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So broadly, restoration ecology or ecological restoration is just the idea of using kind of science-based strategies to figure out how to improve the condition of degraded ecosystems. And you have to really kind of think about it in terms of like what you could expect it to look like in the future, not necessarily just what it looked like in the past, because a lot of these conditions have now changed, and climate change is a huge part of that.
Right.
And so there's a lot of work on how to create like resilient ecosystems that are currently degraded, and just sort of planning for the future based on things like migrations that are expected to happen. So that's kind of the gist.
So that's basically just, hey, how do we fix this shit?
Yeah, yeah, and even fix is even too maybe optimistic of a word. It's more like mitigating, and in some cases it
cope
can
with the changes sometimes rather than reverse them, because a lot of this stuff, that's the other part of this report. Reversal is we can, it's a lot of mitigation, right? Like this is we need to limit, what is it? It said like 1.5 degrees Celsius in warming, right?
Yes.
It said, reaching 1.5 degrees Celsius in the near term. So this is 2021 to 2040. This is like, that's near term, right? So from now to 2040, in the near term, reaching 1.5 C in warming on average would cause unavoidable increases in just basically every risk imaginable.
Yeah.
We need to limit as much as we can. And that window of time in which we can limit it in a way that mitigates most of the damage is shrinking.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. I wanted this to be like a. Weather is brutal sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's probably gonna continue to be brutal. So like, how do you? Actually, that's a good question. So a lot of these weather storms I've been quote unquote reporting on. I say reporting because I'm not a journalist. I don't know. But I mean, I have covered a lot of, once in 100 years, once in 1,000 year storms. They keep saying that about these storms. And it's funny how those kind of storms keep happening kind of more frequently. Is there like anything in your field that is like, that would address like these once in a lifetime storms? Like, is there a way to mitigate those?
Not that I know of.
Can we build more mountains for tornadoes? I don't know.
I don't even know. Like the weather stuff is really tough. Those extreme events. I think that just has to be about like resilience to them. And so much of the focus on resilience is in cities and stuff, which makes a lot of sense. But also we've had terrible fires here, and the ecosystems are somewhat fire adapted, but there is a lot you have to do afterwards to kind of get it back to where it should be. So,
right. You're calling up from Denver, so Colorado knows a thing or two about forest fires.
Yeah.
California does not have the monopoly on it, although we love them over here too.
Oh yeah, yeah. And California is an interesting case too, because a lot of that, like the climate change is part of it, but a lot of that was going to happen anyway because of just the way that forest management has been for the last 100+ years over there. So,
I as much as I did skim the like PDF for dummies about this thing, like it really did, from what I read, I read most of it.
Yeah.
It is crazy how much everything intersects with each other with this kind of thing. Like, this isn't like like ecological restoration is probably just one tool in the toolbox here.
Yeah.
The other tool in the toolbox, getting rid of just. Nah, I probably gotta cut that. I don't know if I could say. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. That's a parody. That's joking. I would only blow it up in Minecraft.
Yeah.
You can do oil stuff in Minecraft, right? Oh boy.
That's a good question. I don't even know. I haven't played Minecraft in a while.
Okay, so I guess the good news is, I guess it's nothing like. There's nothing new that we've found. Like, there's nothing like, and there's a giant meteor coming at us. No, we haven't found anything like that we didn't know about, and that we aren't like. Some of us are preparing for it, right? I mean, right? People are. There's someone out there, right? It's gonna save us, right?
I mean, there's at least like the 100 or so people who wrote this. They're presumably doing something. So. Yeah.
Oh, they're sitting around with their charts and their numbers, telling us about how bad we're doing.
Yeah.
And how much we need to fucking listen to them. Oh, yeah. What do they think they are? A bunch of well-respected, educated people. Anyway.
They do say in there that there has been some progress in adaptation planning and implementation across all sectors and regions, but it is unevenly distributed, which is not surprising. And
what do you mean by that, the adaptation?
So like that they've been, let's see, actually, I have it pulled up here so I can actually, okay, here it is. So, like, again, like some restoration and like conservation kind of stuff is part of it, more sustainable agriculture, and then things like overall power efficiency is getting better in some places, and yeah, like the overall, like there is adaptation happening. It's just not evenly distributed. And
it needs to be more systemic. I mean, this is like there needs to be like governmental changes. I joke about blowing up things in Minecraft, but like genuinely like very, very large structural changes need to be taking place. And that could mean a lot of things to different people, but I mean this in the most constructive way. Like we need constructive change.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's not discount destructive change, but let's start with the constructive stuff. Like I don't know. Have you tried emailing your senator? I guess.
Oof, yeah, I haven't really. I don't have a lot of faith in most of the government.
No.
I don't know. I mean, I think certain, like California is fine. There's the whole the California effect.
It's fine.
Like they drive markets, and that's led to certain things. I mean,
Yeah.
I do think like there's something about how more people are buying electric cars now. I don't know. Honestly, I mean, the fact that Joe Biden is gonna tank gas prices way up,
that's the first based thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
And fully in support. Everyone, let's kill the car as we
Yeah.
go.
I mean,
no,
it's gonna be painful for a lot of people, but
it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I want, it's this weird, like, yes, no more gas. Everyone get rid of your cars, but also,
Right.
It's more complicated than just get. But wouldn't it be so nice if these things were easy to solve?
Right.
Oh well, I guess that means we'll never solve them then. That's the human way, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that's what COVID has kind of shown, that like it's not looking good as far as like, are we gonna band together and fix things? Like, no, we're gonna pretend that it's not real and just power through headlong.
Well, I mean, that's true, but on the other hand, we can all band together and impose very strict, awful sanctions on the people of Russia that had nothing to do with the war. And
that is right.
So solidarity does exist on the international level. It's only for when we do bad things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there's plenty of money as long as it's for weapons.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we really do need to end this episode before we both get in trouble. We're both right, and we should say it. We should say it, all of this stuff, and we're right. But we should get out of here before. Yep, we're on stage, and the big cane is coming off to yank us off. So, Alex, thank you so much, Dr. Alex.
Thank you. Absolutely, yeah.
Thank you for enlightening us and telling us that it sucks, but there's definitely stuff we could do in Minecraft about it.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for doing this as always. Yeah.
I'll catch you later. Everyone, go to shoulder.bandcamp.com, download everything there. I'll wait.
I think it's all free, so go for it.
And then throw actual money at it. It's free. It's pay what you want.
Yes.
And what you want to do is pay a lot. So next time we will do more weather because it just keeps happening. All right, see ya.
All right, thank you. Bye.